Hello, friends! April isn't very busy with new game releases, but I'd like to offer you some interesting options. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and write in the comments which game of April you liked the most. I wish you a good viewing experience. Let's get started. Children of the Sun. On a deadly road trip into darkness, control the path of a single bullet and unleash a fury of vengeance on the sinister cult that ruined your life in this tactical puzzle shooter. Burning with anger, the girl wages a one-woman war against the cult, taking them down cultist by cultist, bullet by bullet, until she reaches her true target, the leader. Along the way, she will unravel the dark truth about this mysterious order and the atrocities committed by them in the name of their master. In this tactical third-person puzzle shooter, you assume control of one bullet, guiding it through increasingly complex and challenging levels to kill cultists, trigger traps, and reshape the environment. Every shot counts and ruthless precision is rewarded. Taking down the cult is deeply satisfying, doing it with style even more so. Sandland. Dive into a desert world where both humans and demons suffer from an extreme water shortage, Sandland. Meet the fiend Prince Beelzebub, his chaperone thief, and the fearless Sheriff Rao, and follow the team on an extraordinary adventure in search of the legendary spring hidden in the desert. The end is only the beginning, as beyond this arid ground lies a new realm to explore. In this action RPG, players will find a nostalgic and heartwarming world created by Akira Toriyama, where you will become the main character, Beelzebub. Learn how to control his powers and lead your company of heroic misfits exploring the legendary world of Sandland. Beware of the many dangers that populate it. Between bandits, fierce wildlife, and the royal army, reaching the spring won't be easy. Use your tact and imagination to develop tanks and other vehicles that will help you navigate this vast land, using a wide array of part combinations. Topspin 2K25's moment-to-moment gameplay is second to none, including Topspin 4, which is often considered the best game in the franchise. Topspin 2K25 launches on all modern hardware in April, bringing the once-loved tennis franchise back to the forefront with the latest 2K2X branding. Built on and expanded from Topspin 4's coding, Topspin 2K25 aims to modernize that experience without necessarily reinventing the wheel. To this day, Topspin 4 is often hailed as the best tennis game out there, and Topspin 2K25 builds on everything that made it great. In other words, Topspin 4 might need to hand that crown over to Topspin 2K25. Game Rant was able to play a few hours of Topspin 2K25 ahead of the annual Desert Smash charity celebrity tennis event. This preview focused entirely on core gameplay after getting through the tutorials. While we were not able to get hands-on with the character customization, a brief presentation did show us some interesting visual choices and unique audio customizations as well. It's a very granular approach, with players able to adjust something as small as the sound and frequency of their grunts during a match. Publisher 2K and developer Hangar 13 will no doubt reveal more features and details about my career ahead of launch, but the core gameplay is going to make any tennis fan happy. No Rest for the Wicked is an upcoming action role-playing video game developed by Moon Studios and published by Private Division. Set in the year 841, the player assumes control of a holy warrior who must travel to the island of Isla Sacra to investigate a plague named the Pestilence. The game is set to be released for Microsoft Windows through early access in April 2024. Full versions of the game are set to be released for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and Series S. No Rest for the Wicked is an action role-playing video game played from a top-down perspective. At the beginning of the game, the player can create their own player character. Players will collect a variety of weapons in the game, and gears are divided into different rarits. Each weapon also has their own unique movesets, and they can be further enhanced with runes to further boost their combat capabilities. Gameplay is similar to a Souls-like game. Players can strike an enemy with their weapons, parry, dodge roll, and block attacks, though all of these actions will consume stamina. The armor worn by the player character will also affect the player's moveset. For instance, players wearing a set of agile armor will be able to perform a fast quick step, which allows players to evade attacks without consuming a lot of stamina. Focus will gradually accumulate during combat, allowing players to unleash a special attack once a certain threshold of focus is reached. If the player character dies, they will respawn at the closest Serum Whisper point. While the player's health is fully restored, enemies which have already been slain remain dead, while the health of wounded enemies will not regenerate. As players progress in the game, they will gain attribute points, which can be spent on 7 different domains, namely health, strength, stamina, dexterity, faith, intelligence, and focus, to enhance the player's combat performance. The game also has a soft class system, allowing players to experiment with different playstyles freely in the game. Another Crab's Treasure is a Souls-like adventure set in a crumbling underwater world. As Krill the Hermit Crab, you'll need to wear the trash around you as shells to withstand attacks from enemies many times your size. Embark on an epic treasure hunt to buy back your repossessed shell and discover the dark secrets behind the polluted ocean. In this undersea society, trash is not only a way of life, but a valuable resource, used for everything from fashion to firearms. But with the presence of trash comes a mysterious infection known as the gunk, which could spell doom for the entire ocean. As Krill explores the ocean, he'll gain a variety of umami techniques, powerful attacks learned from the denizens of the seas. Punch your enemies with the overwhelming might of a mantis shrimp, ensnare them with the horrifying bobbit worm, and much more. The ocean goes deeper than one can imagine. Fight your way through kelp forests, coral reefs, sandcastle cities, and even the unfathomable darkness of the deep-sea trenches, all in the name of getting back your prized shell. Designed to be an approachable experience for newer Souls-like players, as well as provide a challenge for hardcore fans. Another Crab's Treasure offers something for any level of skill or time commitment. Assist options are provided for those seeking a less frustrating experience, but gluttons for punishment are sure to find the default game a challenge. Ereban. Shadow Legacy is a fast-paced, story-driven stealth platformer game where you become Ayana, the last descendant of a forgotten race. Harness mystical shadow powers, high-tech gadgets, and avoid or kill to uncover the truth about your past and the key to saving a dying, morally gray universe. Experience an unprecedented combination of stealth and shadows with the Shadow Merge ability. Dive into shadows and move freely through them to climb walls, reach inaccessible places, attack from cover, or advance unseen. Absorb echoes to learn more lethal and non-lethal shadow powers, craft high-tech gadgets, and combine all this with your agility to infiltrate Helios lines and investigate what they are hiding. Approach each level with your own style of play. Use your powers to move like a ghost or strike as a deadly shadow in this fast-paced stealth game that combines platforming and puzzles. As the last Ereban, unravel the mystery of who you are and what happened to your people. Traverse the ruins of lifeless cities, infiltrate sci-fi facilities carved into ancient temples, and discover the remnants of your forgotten race. Experience an unprecedented combination of stealth and shadows with the Shadow Merge ability. Dive into shadows and move freely through them to climb walls, reach inaccessible places, attack from cover, or advance unseen. Absorb echoes to learn more lethal and non-lethal shadow powers, craft high-tech gadgets, and combine all this with your agility to infiltrate Helios lines and investigate what they are hiding. Approach each level with your own style of play. Use your powers to move like a ghost or strike as a deadly shadow in this fast-paced stealth game that combines platforming and puzzles. As the last Ereban, unravel the mystery of who you are and what happened to your people. Traverse the ruins of lifeless cities, infiltrate sci-fi facilities carved into ancient temples, and discover the remnants of your forgotten race. Tales of Kenzera, ZAU, is an upcoming Metroidvania video game developed by Surgent Studios and published by Electronic Arts under its EA Originals label. The game is set to be released for Windows PC, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and Series S in April 2024. The game follows the story of a young shaman named Zhao, who must capture the spirits of 3 monsters as offerings to Kalunga, the god of death, who promises to revive his father. Zhao is very athletic, being able to double jump, wall jump, and dash through air. Zhao is equipped with 2 weapons, the Sun Mask and the Moon Mask. The Sun Mask allows Zhao to deal melee damage up close, while the moon mask enables him to damage enemies from afar. Both masks have their own distinct upgrade paths. As players defeat enemies, they will collect Ulogi, a form of soul energy that can be used to purchase new skills for Zhao. Tales of Kenzera is a 5D Metroidvania game. Players will gradually gain new skills, enabling them unlock new paths to progress. Abu Bakr Salim, who is most known for being the voice actor for Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins, is the game's creative lead. He founded Surgeon Studios in 2019, and Tales of Kenzera is the studio's debut project. Tales of Kenzera was inspired by Salim's own experience of grief over the loss of his father. He described the Metroidvania genre as the perfect encapsulation of what grief is, because players in the game are dropped in a strange alien world, feeling confused at the beginning of the game. But as players progress in the game and gain new perspectives, they gradually make sense of their experience. The game was heavily inspired by Bantu cultures and Salim's own experience with tribal groups while filming Raised by Wolves in South Africa. The story was also inspired by tabletop role-playing games, with Critical Role Productions assisting the game's development. Nainita Desai served as the game's composer. Salim described the game's soundtracks as a mix of synth, electric sounds, and African traditional music, and compared it to the music from Black Panther and Tenet. Phantom Fury is an upcoming first-person shooter video game developed by Slipgate Ironworks and Phoenix Game Productions and published by 3D Realms. It is a sequel to the 2019 Ion Fury and is slated for release on April 23, 2024. Taking place in 2101, years after her fight against Jadis Heskel, Shelley Bombshell Harrison awakes in a new world, pulled out of a coma at the behest of an old colleague with a new bionic arm. Tasked with securing a highly dangerous artifact, the legendary Demon Core, Shelley embarks on an intense journey around the US as she tries to overcome her own past to save mankind's future. Phantom Fury was revealed during Realms Deep 2022 with an initial release date in 2023. The lead designer on the game is Daniel Hijazi, who is CEO of Phoenix and is also known for his work on Tokyo Underground Killer. A demo featuring a train level was available for attendees to play at Gamescom 2023-24, the 27th of August, 2023. The same demo was released on Steam during Realms Deep 2023, the 30th of September 2023. The demo was available until the 10th of October 2023. Grounded is a survival action-adventure video game developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Xbox Game Studios. It was released for Windows and Xbox One in early access in July 2020. It was fully released on September 27, 2022. The Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5 versions will be released on April 16, 2024. Grounded is a survival game that can be played either in first person or a third person. In the game, the protagonist is shrunk to the size of an ant and must strive to survive in a backyard. In the game, the player character, Max Willow Pete or Hoops, needs to consume an adequate amount of food and water, or they will lose health due to starvation or dehydration, respectively. The backyard is filled with various bugs and insects, such as spiders, bees, dust mites, ladybugs, and many more. The specific microfauna featured in the game suggests the setting to be somewhere in North America, as the majority of species featured may be readily found there, although a few, such as the orchid mantis, are not native but could reasonably be considered invasive. Different insects serve different purposes in the game. For instance, spiders are one of the game's apex predators that will hunt down the players, ladybugs can lead players to food sources, and aphids can be cooked and consumed for food. Players can also cut down grass to collect dewdrops. The game has an accessibility option for players who have arachnophobia, which allows players to decide how scary spiders are going to be in the game. As players progress in the game, they will visit new areas in the backyard. The game's difficulty would slowly increase, and enemies that are more dangerous would be introduced. Throughout the game, players need to scavenge resources in the world in order to construct a base so as to defend themselves from hostile enemies. In particular, during nighttime, as some of the insects become more aggressive. The resources can also be used to craft different tools, traps, and weapons, such as axes, spears, and bows and arrows, to defeat enemies. Players also need to manage their stamina, as the playable character may become exhausted in sustained combat. The game can be played solo, though it also has a 4-player cooperative multiplayer mode. Stellar Blade is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Shift Up and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. The game is scheduled to be released for the PlayStation 5 on April 26, 2024. Stellar Blade is played from a third-person perspective. Combat focuses on grasping the attack patterns of enemies and countering with precise timing. Eve's beta gauge is filled by parrying and evading in combat. The beta gauge is spent to use skills such as piercing super armor and enemy combo interruption. Eve also has a burst gauge filled through successive parries and combos, which can be used to activate buffs and powerful attacks. The game utilizes the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller's haptic feedback to deliver feedback on enemy attacks and weapon accuracy. Exploration features wall scaling and swinging on ropes for environmental traversal, with things to be found including extra costumes. The overworld has NPCs who can provide Eve with side quests, with the option of either taking them on or ignoring them. Scattered throughout the world are supply camp checkpoints where the player will restore health and retrieve stored items, though doing so respawns all Naytibas in the surrounding area. Similar to the meditation circles in Star Wars Jedi. Fallen Order. Humanity is driven from Earth after a losing war against alien invaders called Naytiba. To reclaim their lost home, Eve and her squad are deployed from the colony to fight the Naytiba and to take back Earth. Eventually, Eve meets a survivor named Adam, who leads her to Sion, humanity's last surviving city on Earth. Eve then makes contact with the Elder Orcal and establishes relationships with the residents of Sion in order to further her mission to save humanity and reclaim Earth. That's it! I hope you found something new and interesting for yourself. If so, write in the comments which game you like the most and subscribe to the channel and like it. Thank you for your attention and see you soon!